tested by fire. When we look at fire, we see it as both a friend and an enemy. If we look at it as an enemy, we see it as a means of destruction. But if we see it as a friend, we see it as warmth and transforming. Now, fire has been used as a symbol throughout history, and it's been used as a means of purification and transformation. It's a sign of strength and belief in God. And in the Old Testament, we see the three faithful Jewish boys under Nebuchadnezzar who refused to give worship to the false god by adoring the statue of Nebuchadnezzar. And so he threw them into the furnace, a fiery furnace of white hot heat. And yet these three boys never were hurt. An angel came and protected them. And Nebuchadnezzar realized that their God was a greater God than his. And again, we see fire throughout martyrdom when the martyrs were burned at the stake. And one of the famous examples of this was St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence was one of the deacons in Rome at the time. And the prefect wanted his riches. And so he called Lawrence into him and said, I want you to turn over all the riches that you have to me. And Lawrence said, give me 3 days. And in 3 days, you will have more riches than all of the empire could ever give you. All the world's riches I will give to you. And 3 days he comes. And when he comes, what does he bring? No, he doesn't bring gold and silver and all that. He brings all the poor, the underclassed, the people who rejected, the homeless. And he says, here is your treasure. Here is what I offer to you, because this is my treasure. And the prefect got so mad, he said, okay, Lawrence, I am going to have you martyred. And so what they did was they put him on the fire and they roasted him. And the story says that Lawrence had a sense of humor. And after he was on the fire for a while, he turned to his torturers and said, turn me over, I'm cooked on this side. Fire. But what does fire really mean? Fire means something that's transforming. When something is burned, it's completely changed. It goes from its form to some other form, such as ash. But in the process, what happens is the person becomes purified. Fire is an example of purification. And we are all subjected to fire. It may not be physical fire if we have flames, but we are tested by the fire of our life circumstances. We may have to deal with a very difficult relationship, or we have a financial disaster, or we have a physical and a health crisis. Oh, there are so many things in our life that come to us as a form of fire. And the question is, how do we use that fire? Do we use that fire to change us and to convert us and transform us into better people? Does that fire make us stronger in our faith? To believe that because this fire has challenged me, I can see things in a different perspective? Yes, when fire comes into your life, don't just try to put it out. Use it. Use it to transform you and purify you and turn you into the person that God wanted you to be. Yes, He's not evil in the sense that He wants us to suffer. He wants us to use our suffering to make ourselves better, because He loves you with the fire of His divine love.